Ted Cheeseman, current British champion. You're now watching Sporting Icons.
All right, everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So yesterday I was watching an Eddie Hearn interview, and within that interview he happened to mention that he'd like to make Kell Brook versus Amir Khan. He'd like to keep on going with that long drawn out saga. And right away I thought, right, okay, tomorrow headlines are going to be all over the place. Eddie Hearn wants to make Amir Khan versus Kell Brook all over again. Okay, so as of today, of course, we've seen the headlines. What's happening? Exactly what I've just said. So now, I've done a video on this one before where I've said I don't want to hear about it anymore. Okay, I refuse to talk about it, and I've done quite well for a few months now to not even mention the name of either fighter, as in the same sentence together. But I want to do this one because as much as I am a Kell Brook fan, I've been a Kell Brook fan for a long, long time. Same with Amir Khan. And I have criticised Amir Khan before. I felt that he built the fan base here in the UK and then abandoned it for the American dollar. He went over to America to live the American dream, okay? So I did feel like he abandoned the UK. I have nothing against fighters going over to America once in a while, but listen, this is where your fan base is, and I did feel he's chasing the dollar. And even now, that's exactly what he's still fighting for, money. I don't think he's fighting for glory. I don't think he's fighting for anything other than money. And Kell Brook, I've criticised him before, and as I said, I'm a massive fan of Kell Brook, where I feel like he's wasted far too long chasing a fight that isn't going to happen. Now, whose fault is it that this fight isn't going to happen? Who knows? Maybe Kell Brook hasn't been as forgiving in the negotiations as maybe he could have been, okay? Amir Khan, he seems like he's just dangling a carrot on the end of a stick, just making Kell Brook his puppet, okay? And Kell Brook's been dancing along to him like damn Pinocchio, okay? And so for me, I think both fighters are to blame, but I think, to be brutally honest, we have to go with Amir Khan because Kell Brook has been wanting to make this fight for a long time. Amir Khan always finds another avenue to go down, anything to not fight Kell Brook. Could it be because he feels that if he did lose to Kell Brook, that's the kind of shame that he can't live with, okay? But who knows? Who knows? Now, of course, there's a very good chance that the fight could well happen now. But in my opinion, and I know a lot of your guys' opinion as well, is the fact that it's too little too late, okay? This is not a big fight anymore. It's a fight that you and I would watch, but would we put it or watch it on pay-per-view? Would you be willing to hand over pay-per-view money to watch these two guys who, let's be honest, in the last couple of years have done sod all? No, the answer is no, isn't it? Okay, but we know Eddie Hearn and Sky Sports, they will put it on pay-per-view, of course. In my opinion, yes, it's a headline act, but not pay-per-view. If you want to put it on a pay-per-view show, put it on the Ruiz Joshua undercard as the chief support. Okay, that will be interesting. But either way, in my opinion, I'm sick to death of it. I don't want to hear about Amir Khan and Kell Brook anymore. These guys, as much as I'm fans of them, these guys are nothing more than prima donnas right now. You've got Kell Brook for what? He hasn't had a fight in the best part of a year now. And he's talking about how, well, you know, Eddie, I can't get out of bed, Eddie, and this is going to be for a big fight, Eddie. Well, when he beat Rabchenko, what was it, 18 months ago now? He was the WBC silver champion at super welterweight, which meant he was eligible to fight Jamal Charlo at the time, who was the WBC super welterweight champion. Didn't want to do that? No, of course not. He would have fought Michael Zarafa instead, who turned out to be a very, very tough fight for Kell Brook. But Michael Zarafa, as it turns out, is actually a much better fighter than I think a lot of people gave him credit at the time, most notably, not just because of the Kell Brook fight, but because of the way that he handled Jeff Hearn recently as well. So we do have to give Kell Brook credit within that fight, even though we probably didn't at the time. But the fact is, he could have fought Jamal Charlo. Of course, since then, Jamal has lost to Tony Harrison, and he's the champion. With Amir Khan, on the other hand, you've got him, well, yeah, you know what, I don't really need Kell Brook, and I want to fight Manny Pacquiao, and he's trying to talk about Floyd Mayweather, and he's goes and fights Terence Crawford, and all these kind of guys. I'm like, you just don't want this fight. You don't want to do it. And I'm sick to the back teeth of it, to be honest with you. I'm tired of it. I know a lot of you guys are tired of it too. But Eddie Hearn just keeps having to mention it. Like he's, I don't know, is he still living with the fantasy of 3 or 4 years ago when that fight was hot? That the public will suddenly go, okay, it's on now. Excellent, let's get excited about it. What have these two guys done in the last 2 years? There's got to be no damn title on the line, is there? None. Maybe the WBC will create one of their trinket titles for this event. Maybe, probably. But there's going to be no title on the line. So why would it be pay-per-view? There's not an interim title. There won't be an international title. There won't be any version of a title. Because neither one deserve it. They haven't done anything. Kell Brook has wasted so much of his career chasing Amir Khan. And Amir Khan has spent so much of his career avoiding Kell Brook by taking bigger, riskier fights. He went over to America and got knocked clean out by Canelo Alvarez just so he didn't have to fight Kell Brook. And then he did the same thing with Terence Crawford, just so he didn't have to fight Kell Brook. And Kell Brook, he just keeps on chasing him around, wasting his own career. I can't get out of bed, Eddie. I just can't do it. I need a big fight, Eddie. What big fight are you going to get, Kell? What big fight are you going to get? Nothing. You ain't going to get a big fight because you haven't done anything. He could have fought in Madison Square Garden on June the 1st. He pulled himself out of that card. He's too inactive. And I'm sick of the pair of them, to be honest with you. And I ain't paying for it on pay-per-view. Eddie Hearn will probably go, I don't care, don't buy it then. Everyone else will. Newsflash, Eddie. A lot of people just ain't interested in this fight anymore. I don't care whose fault it is. For me, I ain't interested in it. Quite honestly, I couldn't care less about this fight anymore. And I'm only doing this video just to relieve some of the tension that I got when I first heard Eddie Hearn mention their names in the same breath again. Amir Khan has fought twice, and Kell Brook hasn't fought at all. The last time Kell Brook fought was it December last year against Michael Zarafa. Since then, Amir Khan has fought Terence Crawford and went to Saudi Arabia for Billy Dib. And it wasn't even supposed to be Billy Dib. It was supposed to be that lad from India. Was it Nijad, whatever his name was? Amir Khan is just here for a payday. That's all he's here for now. He don't want to fight Kell Brook. Of course he doesn't. And if he did, this fight would have happened a long time ago. I know that Amir Khan has like a lot of extreme fans. But even these guys are looking at it going, we don't care about that fight anymore. Amir, you have to take some of this blame here. You are to blame for this fight not happening. Likewise, Kell Brook, you are to blame for this fight not happening here. You are to blame for your own career petering. Because you've been chasing a fight that everybody in the damn known world knew that just wasn't going to happen. Just wasn't going to happen. Kell Brook is the puppet for Amir Khan, and that's the sad truth of it. Kell Brook at one time was an exciting fighter. Now he's like the Michael Owen of boxing. All right? He's always injured or he's just never doing what it is that he gets paid to do. He changed trainers from Dominic Ingle to John Fuchs. Okay, he had one fight, spent a few more months with John Fuchs after. And now he's back with Dominic Ingle again. That's his own prerogative, okay? For me, I don't know really why he left Dominic Ingle in the first place, but he did. But the fact is, he hasn't done anything. What have you done, Kell? You haven't done anything. People can say that he's been on the slide ever since the Triple G fight, when he got his right eye socket broken. All right. And then the next fight, he fought Errol Spence Jr. Got his other eye socket broken. Even though in both those fights, he gave a very, very good account of himself. And against Errol Spence Jr., I still stand by my word. Had that freak incident not have happened with the eye socket, he would have beaten Errol Spence Jr. I'm telling you, he would have beaten him. He won virtually every round up until that happened in round number 6. And even then, he went, what was it, another 4 or 5 rounds with Errol Spence with one eye. It's not that Errol Spence did something spectacular he's got that much power that he managed to cave the face in of Kell Brook. Not at all. Kell Brook quite clearly had problems with his face because it happened with Triple G beforehand and then Errol Spence Jr. Has Errol Spence Jr., for all the Errol Spence Jr. fans out there who want to claim this, who else has Errol Spence Jr. done this to? He couldn't even do it to a tiny Mikey Garcia or a tiny Chris Algieri or a way past it Lamont Peterson. But yeah, he can do it to Kell Brook. Interesting. Either way, this just seems to be it. I don't know whether Kell Brook is frightened to get his face broken again against somebody. I have no idea. But he's quite willing to do it with Amir Khan because he didn't feel Amir Khan has the power to hurt him. I don't know. I don't know. Or he just sees Amir Khan as his one last payday. What happened to Kell Brook running around saying how he wants to be a two-weight world champion? Well, he's had his opportunity because he was a damn silver champion for the WBC and didn't go for it. He was mandatory for Jamal Charlo. Didn't take it. He was then mandatory for, at the time, Jarrett Hearn for the IBF and WBA. He was mandatory. Didn't take it. Even though Jarrett Hearn was saying, let's make the fight. Kell Brook has just wasted his own career, and even though I'm not involved in the negotiations, I'm just tired of it. I've just spent a damn 10-minute video talking about these two, at the minute, complete waste men. I don't want to see it. If these guys want me to pay pay-per-view for their fight, then these guys need to have at least 2 more fights against other people to prove their worth, and then build up this fight to make it a pay-per-view. But they won't do it. In fact, it's very unlikely either one of these guys will have a fight at all. If they do, it will be against a B or C level fighter. And then these guys will come together and say, oh, by the way, can you give us 20 quid for the pay-per-view? No, it don't work that way with me. It don't work that way with me. It's not about 20 quid. 20 quid's nothing. But the fact is, it's principle. These guys haven't deserved my pay-per-view money. Simple as that. If, of course, this fight happens, which, in my opinion, I think this fight will happen now. Because, as I said, neither of these fighters have anywhere to go but each other or just retire. That's my thoughts. You drop me yours. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.